Who's ready to double down on some pirate software drama? Fair warning to my normal viewers, I'm going to be a slop-tuber in this video. To everyone else, hi, I'm Mojo. I just released my first game on Steam. And I attribute a lot of my motivation to do that to this guy, PirateSoftware. But PirateSoftware let me down as a fan, as a game developer. I'm going to give context on the major controversies, and my take as a PirateSoftware fan. I think I have a slightly different view of the situation, and I'm approaching this pretty fairly, but I definitely won't be going easy on him. Let's get into it. PirateSoftware's downfall started how all downfalls start, by getting really popular. I want to get into how I found out about his channel and why it was such a hit, but first, an intro from Thor.
So, for all you new guys, my name is Thor. I make video games. Been in the gaming industry for 18 years. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Worked on everything from World of Warcraft Vanilla all the way into Overwatch, except for Burning Crusade, because I left for a while. And then, I left and I worked at Amazon Game Studio on the Lumberyard game engine. And then I left that, and I hacked power plants for the federal government. So I was a pen tester working at the DOE. And then I quit, because I didn't like having my hair cut short. And I started my own indie studio called PirateSoftware. Now I make games on the internet, and this is what I've done full-time for the last 5 years.
I subbed to PirateSoftware when everyone else subbed to PirateSoftware. His channel exploded at the end of 2023. This sudden meteoric rise was due to his stream content being adapted to YouTube Shorts. He invaded the doom scrolling of gamers, software developers, game devs, and I'm sure many more. He would tell stories about his time at Blizzard or hacking power plants, and his stories and advice were fresh and interesting. It drove tons of traffic to his Twitch stream. By the end of 2024, he broke the Twitch hype train record, making him one of the top streamers ever. I'm a big fan of these shorts. Here are some that showcase what I like about his content, starting with some funny ones.
Never think about how skeleton enemies in video games know your location, despite having no eyes or ears.
Yeah.
The skeleton that's inside you is communicating that information to them skelepathically. It wants to be free.
Skelepathically. I have never heard this word, and now that I know this word, I think you're correct, and I don't like that. When someone says I feel it in my bones, that means that they're probably communicating skelepathically. You've forever altered every Dungeons & Dragons game that I have going forward. That's what you've done. They realized you were a bot. I'm not a bot, goddammit. And I can't believe that YouTube would think that I'm a bot, and I'm clearly not a bot, YouTube. You could trust me on that. It's absolute.
So basically, he's got an unhinged text-to-speech system and has some comedy bits, but his other flavor is giving simple advice.
Do you want to make an engine? There are reasons to make an engine. There's 3 of them. The first one is you want to learn how to make an engine. Number 2 is your game has features that are not able to be made in any other engine on the market. And then number 3 is you have a big ego and you think that only real game developers make their own engines. This one is you're a big dumb shit. Don't do that. These 2, totally valid. If you want to look at one that's about features, let's go look at Noita. Ta-da! Custom engine. It's called the Falling Everything engine. It was required to make this game because every single pixel in the entire game is a material. It's incredible. Fez, another example of this. Fez is a platformer game. Custom engine. Why? Because of, well, this. See these games? We go from 1994. We're going to go all the way to 2014. And I want you to stop right here. Do you see this? You see that fart hotel right there? This is made by Scott Cawthon in the same year he launched Five Nights at Freddy's. This is Scott Cawthon's list of video games that he made. So, like, if you're ever wondering, like, oh, no one's going to play any of the shit that I make, go make Fart Hotel. Who cares? Go make Fart Hotel. Don't worry about making the perfect game. Make Fart Hotel and listen to players about it. How many of you guys out there ever wanted to make a game? And you were just like, I can't do this. I'm not a good programmer. I'm not a good artist. I'm not a good musician. I don't have the ability to do this thing that I want to do. I don't have the technical knowledge on how to make a game that I need in order to do this. So you have to be this high to ride the ride, right? It's not a thing.
PirateSoftware moved me to act on my dream of making video games. His message is to not wait, to try and to fail, and have fun. His message is also that making games is easy, which is just not true. It's certainly easier to make simple games nowadays, but that's not the point. I have adopted his message. Go make games. Making games is fun. It's a wonderful creative endeavor. You should do it. He did start streaming WoW, so maybe he should have seen this coming. PirateSoftware got invited to join a streamer guild in classic WoW called OnlyFings. During a dungeon or raid, I actually don't know, wow. Anyway, things went bad. The call was made to run, and he ran a little too well. This is hardcore WoW, which of course means if your character dies, you die in real life. Anyway, this incident led to 2 characters dying. Let's watch the clip. So again, I don't know WoW, but I do know League of Legends. This guy on the bottom left is Yamato's death.
Run.
Yeah, the guy that just called to run. That's a Kassadin main. And drama follows wherever he goes. I mean, look at him. He knows he made the wrong call. When this drama was all going down, I instantly took Thor's side because I saw who the other guy was. But admittedly, Thor running away was a little egregious here.
Heal him.
Yeah, you just heal me. Just come back a little bit.
What's on me? Sitting bear form.
Snappy, just run.
I mean, watch this.
Help lot. Yeah.
He's not even looking.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
I'm not a WoW player, but in most games, you can kite away from enemies as you run. I'm positive WoW is the same way. His brain clearly just said, I'm not dying here, and he dipped.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you?
This is where Thor started to lose everyone's good faith. First of all, he was arguing with them during a tense situation, and claiming he was out of mana when he could have recovered some and done something. Every WoW pro had something to say about this incident at the time, and I listened to a lot of it. My take on the situation is that WoW drama is super cringe. The reason I showed this is because it's definitely the first time I saw this side of PirateSoftware. Someone who absolutely refuses to take vault. That ended up being a theme for him to this day.
No. They overpulled 2 polls and the boss. Like,
yes, literally, just even an ice nova would have been enough.
You guys pulled that when I had...
You instantly ran out, bro. You instantly ran. You didn't even look
as much
back.
as you're angry right now, of course I ran.
I'm not angry at all.
You overpulled 2 packs. You overpulled 2 packs and a boss. I had 1,400 mana left. I had to spend all of that mana to try and put it on Blizzard to save you guys in the first place, and nothing left. You weren't paying attention to party resources, you overpulled, and you weren't paying attention to where the boss was. That's not on me. You were the shot caller, you called for run, I ran.
I'm not a shot caller.
And I was out of mana.
Actually, I'm a noob, bro. I
You
think I
called
have
the
way
shot.
less experience than you have.
Oh dear God.
And I can still see that I can at least use a Frost Nova there. Or at
Okay,
least try
then
something.
go roll a
You were
mage
the
and do
first
it.
person that ran away and didn't even look back. Literally.
This is the
You didn't even
second
say
time.
anything.
This
You
is
could
the
have at
second.
least said like the
Wait,
boss.
you're just gonna talk over me? Is that what we're doing now?
Well,
We just gonna talk over me? Is that all? Is that all
I'm
we're
just
doing?
giving you my points.
Okay. You done giving your point? You good?
Yes. I'm done.
Okay. Cool. You go roll a mage then. See you around. Insane. No. That is outrageous, dude. You can't blame me for that.
So in the moment, he took zero accountability, was very arrogant and dismissive, and it started a full investigation into how he treats other people.
You basically have to evocate to get your mana back for the next pull.
So here he is bullying a new WoW player.
Remind me, sorry, I don't play the game, so I forgot. If you remind me, I can help you out.
Yeah, it's too bad I'm the only mage in the party. You're right, Chad.
Can't really keep wishing for things that just aren't here, though.
That is true.
That's true. That's true. Can't wish for the rogue. Can't wish for another mage to cast Arcane in.
Yeah.
Brother, may I have some oats? Oh, since we have 2 mages, we could probably poly the ads.
Wait, we have 2 mages. Oh, man.
Yeah, I can poly.
Here I've been the only one casting Arcane in. Incredible.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's wild, right?
I mostly agree with Thor in this clip because listening to Yamato argue is never productive.
What do you want, man?
Let me say it again.
He already said his piece.
Pirate.
Go on.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I want to speak to him because I didn't speak to him correctly. I said it again. We all did mistakes, bro. Like I didn't say, we are just blaming you. It's about the zero accountability is what makes us so mad.
There's no zero
You see the
accountability,
point?
dude. Everyone can do something better.
you-
But when you open up and you yell over another person
listen,
like you
can
were doing
I
earlier,
speak?
Nah, I'm good.
You
See ya. I'm not doing that shit again with him. Nah, he did it the first time. I'm not doing it a second one. Not interested.
I think the closest he came to admitting fault was in this Twitter post where he said, "Each person in this group made mistakes, including myself." But then he spends the rest of the post playing the victim. Around the same time, he wiped his party in another MMO and blamed everyone but himself.
Sabu got left behind. Sabu is not paying attention.
I can't tell what's going on either, but apparently he pulled a creature that one-shot his party.
Sabu. God damn it, guys.
Oh, no, who pulled the ocular?
So one of you pulled the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. Was there a reason for that? Did you pull that Oculus in AOC or no? Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, 100%. I was really pissed off that day because we had done a whole bunch of different stuff inside of that dungeon, and we had died so many different times and so much different stupid shit. And people just clipped the one portion where I was popping off finally. I was like, God damn it, this has to stop. Imagine 4 hours of wiping the shit that just wasn't necessary, and then you're finally irritated about it. That's it.
Not much of an apology in my opinion. Like, yeah, I did it, but I only sounded mean because you didn't see how dumb my party was the rest of the day. Even though he was doubling down left and right on each mistake, in all fairness, as a fan, this MMO drama stuff didn't bug me. Oh no, a streamer I like made a big mistake and was being mean. Isn't that like the Twitch meta these days? His stream took a hit, but he was still averaging at least 7,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch. That's a top tier stream still. To me it felt like the WoW drama largely blew over. For a couple months. Stop Killing Games is an EU initiative seeking to require video game companies to have an end-of-life plan for games people buy from them. I'm not going to get into all of it, there are tons of videos you can watch explaining it, but importantly, PirateSoftware made 2 videos about it. I remember when these videos came out, I watched them. I thought he was wrong, but I also just felt like the situation didn't affect me, because I never want to make a live service game. I don't really play them, and also I'm not allowed to sign the initiative anyway. But it turns out these videos were a big thorn in the side of the Stop Killing Games initiative. Here's Accursed Farms, or Ross, to explain what Thor's impact had on the initiative.
Okay, I really don't want to do this next part, but it's become a liability for the campaign for me not to. Our biggest critic by far is YouTuber and streamer PirateSoftware, who goes by Thor. If your only exposure to Stop Killing Games has been this video, then you've been misinformed. This video is by someone who does not understand the campaign, has been trying to stop it, and has been making up what it is about. I am not saying that lightly. I will prove it in a minute. Now you might be thinking, okay, so some YouTuber got something wrong on the internet. So what? This video came out right as we were building momentum, then except for one boost in Germany, the signatures started drying up like clockwork. This put me in kind of a no-win scenario too. Because if I ignored it, then a lot of people are going to get misinformed about the campaign. But if I did a response video, which is not something I wanted to do anyway, then it might look like drama farming, which could understandably turn off a lot of people from the campaign, because it's not about that at all. Thor does not understand what Stop Killing Games is. Here it is in his words.
So for those who don't understand, the Stop Killing Games initiatives is basically, we don't want single-player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single-player games inactive anymore. This is what they want to change. They need to be specific that they're talking about single-player games that do not need a server to support them.
No.
And as much as they want it to be about specifically games where it is a single-player game that has always online functionality, it would impact every live service game that exists, instead of just targeting single-player, always online games.
No, that's not what it is. Stop Killing Games includes single-player games, but nothing about it is specific to them. He completely made that up, and I have no idea where he got that impression. It's the first line on the website. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers.
Transitioning an entire multiplayer server-side game into a single-player video game, and suddenly you have to make it a single-player game for every individual that ever bought the game. That's what they're asking for.
No.
Because they would have to sunset live service games as a single-player experience. The idea that suddenly you need to make every single live service game playable single-player offline? No, dude.
Correct. No.
Nowhere in there does it say that it's directly targeting always online single-player games.
Oh, he's so close.
It is vague, and because of that, it will impact...
I'm going to stop here real quick. This video is long and has dozens of clips of Ross correcting Thor on the many ways he got things wrong about the initiative. Go watch Ross's video, I'll link it in the description. But the important thing to touch on is this.
No games are being destroyed here. These are live service games.
Yeah, you heard him. No games are being destroyed. Does he just say anything? Is that why he's popular?
Thor talks with such authority. He has lots of industry experience and has made his own game, so he's got to be right. Right? His persona is cracking wide open. This next clip is especially hard to watch.
I had never heard of him prior to all this, but during the campaign, I had dozens of people contacting me, telling me how wise and reasonable he is, how he's really pro-consumer and represents developers, and I should really talk to him. Great, let's do it. So this was my first encounter of him.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible direction. That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I drop the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
Oh, yeah. I can see why people like him. It's like listening to Mr. Rogers.
Ross's video about the end of Stop Killing Games and how PirateSoftware contributed to its downfall got picked up by tons of top YouTubers and streamers. If you hadn't heard of the initiative or PirateSoftware's arrogance and ego, well, now everyone was aware.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person.
Someone like PirateSoftware has gone out and done a horrible video on it, misrepresenting what it is, giving a ton of misinformation and actually kind of killing the initiative from the get-go, and then just being very egotistical about it, not saying sorry.
The double down may be Thor's only play in the playbook because he just did not back down from this. Real quick, I just want to share my take on this situation. Like I said earlier, I don't really play live service games. I play League of Legends on and off, but that's a free game. I never felt like I owned anything. And I'm not in the EU, so I can't sign the petition anyway. I'm a bit old school when it comes to games. I really get excited about games that you can play forever. I'm going to talk about two of my favorite games. I've played Pokemon Emerald a million times, and I've got thousands of hours in Minecraft. I think these games are relevant to Stop Killing Games. Pokemon Emerald is impossible to buy these days, and Nintendo hates anyone who tries to play it. But when you do find that shiny green cartridge from the depths of your entertainment center, you get to play it as many times as you want, forever. Which I have. As for Minecraft, I feel like it's the perfect game to showcase how other studios can set up their games for end of life. Minecraft can be played any way you want. I know it's a sandbox game and that's different from other live service experiences, but the fact that I can host multiple Minecraft servers from my house, play all sorts of mod packs, invite dozens of friends, and just never get bored, that's just perfect. I feel like loads of games could totally release a server with a client so players can self-host forever. Even if they don't make as much money from this model, it's very courteous to players to have that option. I'm sure most people feel the same way about this stuff. The phrase that keeps getting thrown around with Stop Killing Games is, "You'll own nothing and be happy." And that's just sad. If the initiative can really solve that situation, I think it's good. But I will say, the idea of politicians messing up the games industry also really sucks. So I hope this initiative doesn't stir up some sort of negative legal response. Regardless of the outcome of the Stop Killing Games initiative, I did feel like the responses to Thor's videos were fair and in good faith. His lack of understanding of what he's talking about seems clear. He was making stuff up. Which brings us to what I think is the most important aspect of all of this. What else did he make up?
Let's start with Jason's LinkedIn job history.
Oh.
I was watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much. I literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard is having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard. Blizzard, game industry for Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard. Yeah, no, I worked at Blizzard back when I used to work at Blizzard, when I was at Blizzard. For those who don't understand, I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. I know how to do that because I worked at Blizzard. Example of this when I was at Blizzard. How do you know so many things? I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I don't think I'm better than other people. I do think that it's funny because you can that. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued in as arrogance, but in reality it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
I actually am the first second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. The first second-generation Blizzard employee. First second-generation Blizzard employee. So I'm second-generation Blizzard. I'm the first second-generation Blizzard employee that ever existed in the company. I'm also a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee. And I love that. I love that company. Working for Blizzard sucked, and I work at Blizzard. Or I worked at Blizzard. There's me eating a sandwich. Yeah, that was actually at Blizzard. I think it was my first, I think it was 2009. It was me picking a safe. It was me cracking a safe at Blizzard. Your Blizzard stories are fake? Which Blizzard story do you think is fake? Would you like to talk to me or my dad that worked at Blizzard for 23 years that's currently in chat? Which one do you want?
So if we look at his LinkedIn, we can see his first recorded job experience is from 2002 to 2009.
I'm just going to skip this resume review. You should go watch the video. I'll put the link in the description. Here's the gist of it.
All right, with all of that, and with all those jobs, we have 6 years and 6 months at Blizzard full-time for Jason. And if we include his time as a QA intern in 2004, we basically have his 7 years of experience at Blizzard accounted for. Judging by everything he has written here, it seems as though he's never held an actual game developer position, and he's never done any game development directly. All of his roles at Blizzard were either QA, website security, or social engineering, basically his hacking. It doesn't seem like he's ever touched C++, which is the industry standard language to use when doing game development. But before I finish my thoughts on this, let's check out one more job after Blizzard. After Blizzard, Jason worked at Amazon Games for 8 months as an automation engineer. Again, he wasn't a game developer here. He also didn't include much information under his bullet points. He did documentation of vulnerabilities and did some automation work with Python. This is the first officially recorded line that actually shows he did some programming. The reason I went through his job history so far and his programming language list is because Jason often claims he's a 20-year veteran of the game dev industry and he was a game developer at Blizzard for 7 years. And he uses these claims to make himself seem like an authority and expert on game development and game-related topics, namely stop killing games. But from the looks of it, and in my opinion, it doesn't seem to me he's ever worked as an actual game developer within the industry, and it doesn't seem like he's ever done much program work in the industry either. I'm not throwing shade at any of the jobs listed here so far. I'm just trying to be absolutely clear that none of this, in my opinion, as someone that has worked on game engines and done game development, none of this counts as game development experience, with a lot of his roles having absolutely nothing to do with game development itself at all.
This is a brutal and thorough review of Thor's past, even going so far as to review his empty GitHub. But the past doesn't matter. What matters to me is that he's making a game.
Let's finally get to PirateSoftware, the company, and Jason's actual game development start. Let's take a look at his game dev skills, his game dev execution. With all his bragging, I'm sure this is going to be an incredible story with no issues at all. All right, so his first game his studio published was a game called Champions of Breakfast. This was a game roughly built in 8 months in the Game Maker engine. So Heartbound is the big game PirateSoftware is known for, and it has a crazy development history. So according to the wiki, Heartbound's first build was October 7th, 2015. Again, this game was also made in Game Maker. It's a 2D game that's mostly story-driven with extreme similarities to Undertale, and is supposed to have 5 acts or chapters in total. The game did land on Steam in December of 2018. In early access, this release contained a chapter 1 that was complete, with a basically near fully done chapter 2. Surely Jason will complete this game in a few more years, right? At the very start of January 2019, they released a patch where in the patch notes it said Animus, the name of chapter 3, was being developed, and this is where everything started truly going to hell. Now, we have a few things we should note here. This is technically the 3rd year of development if we're going off the October 2015 first build date. If if we look at the latest patch in 2025, work on Chapter 3 Animus is still going somehow. We have gone through 6 years of development so far, and Jason hasn't been able to complete 14% of Chapter 3.
This is where I'm going to wrap things up. We've covered the biggest controversies surrounding PirateSoftware, but here's a list of a bunch more that I didn't cover. I think it's important to note that the drama never ends with him. He picked a persona that appears to know everything, is wise, and doesn't make mistakes. When he makes mistakes, the internet rubs it in his face. Over the last year, I did suspect that PirateSoftware had given up on making games. I mean, his stream has to be making him so much money these days. I haven't even mentioned his ferret rescue in this video. He literally streams 12 hours every day. Mostly just playing the hot new MMO with his mod friend. When I do catch the rare dev stream, it's never heartbound, it's just modifying config files for his Minecraft MMO. A few YouTubers dogpiled on the drama with some code reviews, which were mildly interesting. Believe it or not, his code is quite bad. I've never seen code that bad professionally. But to me, none of this drama matters. Even the bad code doesn't matter. It's not because I'm a diehard or anything. People have been playing his game, and honestly it looks quite boring, but I never thought it was my type of game. I don't care what kind of person Thor is, or how little talent he has. What I care about is that he told me to go make games, and I did. And he won't take his own advice. You gotta finish your game, man. The first time I saw Thor being a total hypocrite about his own advice was I think about a year ago when he had his dad on stream.
But since you did, last month was my birthday and you missed it. You didn't call me, neither did your brother. You guys both ignored me for my birthday.
That isn't true. I sent you a text.
True. No, you did not.
Bullshit.
That was last year.
Bullshit.
I got nothing. You sent me one last year.
Did I send you one last year? Am I your son? Oh man. Yes. It was last. Wow.
I want everybody to know that Jason, Thor, did not say anything to his father for his birthday a month ago.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't text you anything after that last happy birthday, so it's still the same one. It still counts.
Your logic sucks.
When I watched the stream, I thought, didn't I just see a short about this?
I'm going to be real with you, and it's getting a little bit grim for a minute. If you have a loved one in your family, and they're kind of getting on in age, talk to them as much as you can. I call my grandmother every week. The way that I thought about it was this. Let's say that you call your grandma once a month, and your grandma might live for another 3 years. She's not doing super well, right? Then you have to think about the engagement, the amount of time that you have with her. And you think, oh, I have 3 years with her. No, you don't. You have 36 calls with her. And that puts things into a very different perspective. So I started calling her every week. You don't have 3 years, you have 36 calls. Change that number.
At this rate, you've got like 20 texts left with your dad. Take your own advice. Well, there it is, folks. I tried something new on this channel. It was so cringe to watch that WoW drama. I didn't think I was gonna ever finish this video. I had to really ham it up to try to get more clicks. So anyway, thanks for watching, like and subscribe. Go make games. See ya!